Welcome back to Astro Reeltalk, the channel where we break down movies beyond the surface and explain the deeper truths most viewers completely miss. Today, we're talking about one of South Korea's most intense and underrated thrillers, The Manipulated, also known as Fabricated City. At first glance, this movie looks like a simple revenge story, but in reality, it's something far more disturbing. The Manipulated is not just about one man being framed, it's about how easily reality itself can be constructed, controlled, and weaponized. The story follows a normal man whose entire life collapses after he is falsely accused of a violent crime he never committed. What makes this terrifying is not the accusation itself, but how fast the system accepts the lie as truth. One of the biggest things people don't fully understand is that the real villain of this movie is not just a single person. The true enemy is manipulation of information. Evidence is fabricated. Digital records are altered. Witnesses are arranged. And once the false narrative is created, the system refuses to question it. This movie shows how dangerous modern technology becomes when it is used to control truth instead of reveal it. Another detail many viewers miss is how completely isolated the main character becomes. The moment society labels him as guilty, he stops being seen as human. Friends disappear. Authorities stop listening. And innocence no longer matters. This reflects a harsh reality. In a manipulated system, the truth is powerless. Now, one of the strongest elements of this movie is the acting, especially the performance of Ji Chang-wook. Many people were used to seeing him in romantic or action-driven roles. But in The Manipulated, he delivers one of the most emotionally raw performances of his career. His character feels helpless, broken, and desperate, and that vulnerability makes the story feel real. You can feel his fear, his confusion, and his anger without exaggerated dialogue. Most of the emotion is carried through body language and silence. That's something many viewers underestimate. The supporting cast also plays a critical role. The group of outsiders, hackers, gamers, and social misfits represent people society often ignores. Yet they are the only ones capable of understanding how the system was manipulated. This sends a subtle message. Sometimes the truth doesn't come from authority. It comes from those who exist outside the system. The antagonist is portrayed not as a loud or emotional villain, but as a calm, calculating architect of chaos. That makes him even more terrifying. There is no passion in his actions, only control. One thing I personally loved about The Manipulated is how uncomfortable it makes the viewer feel. It forces you to ask a frightening question. If this happened to you, would anyone actually listen? By the end of the movie, the revenge feels deserved. But it also feels hollow. Because even when the truth is exposed, the damage is already done. Time is lost. Reputations are destroyed. And trust can never fully return. The Manipulated is not just entertainment. It's a warning. A warning about how easily lives can be destroyed when power, technology, and lies work together. This has been Astro Reeltalk, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.